We start in the Octagon. UFC 231 hits the Scotiabank Arena this Saturday in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And the main event sees a long-awaited featherweight title fight between the champion, Max Holloway, and the challenger, Brian T-City Ortega. Joining me now to discuss it is the one and only, the man himself, TSN UFC Content Editor, Aaron Bronsteter. Aaron, thank you for joining us.
Jordan, thanks again for having me on.
All right, let's start with the main event. Of course, this fight was supposed to happen back in July, but Max Holloway displayed concussion-like symptoms for whatever reason, and it was called off. But now it's back, and it's a classic on paper. Holloway riding a 12-fight win streak, while Ortega is undefeated at 14-0. How do you see this fight?
Main event, excellent. Both guys made weight. It's good to go. A lot of question marks about Max Holloway, but he stepped on the scale. You know, every time Max Holloway stepped on the scale, he's always made weight. So when you saw him there at the weigh-ins, you knew everything was good to go. So for that main event, with Max Holloway, if you look at what he brings to the table, I think that he is going to be able to win this fight if he's the same Max Holloway that we've seen in the past. Now, nothing really leads me to believe otherwise. You know, a lot of people speculate about his health and all of that. I don't agree with any of it. I think that until we see some sort of diminished product, which we have not seen, you've got to just consider Max Holloway to be the same Max Holloway we've always seen. We don't have any other evidence to suggest otherwise. So with that in mind, him against Ortega, if he can keep it on the feet and he can avoid being on the ground altogether, and usually Max Holloway doesn't go to the ground. The ground isn't really his bread and butter, and he likes to stick with his best tools, his best weapons, and that's on the feet. If he stays on the feet against Brian Ortega, I think he's going to be able to win, and I think he'll be able to win inside the distance. The crazy thing about this fight is the difference in styles. Max Holloway's kind of a death by 1,000 paper cuts type fighter. He wears you down. He puts volume on you until you just can't take it anymore. Whereas Brian Ortega is the type of guy where if you make a single mistake, if you slip up, he will take you out. He'll completely take you out, and you'll be done. So that's really what you're looking for in this particular main event.
All right, let's talk about the co-main event. Former women's strawweight champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Valentina Shevchenko for the vacated women's flyweight title. This one might steal the show. How do you see it?
Co-main event, you know, I'm actually looking forward to this fight the most of any fight on the card, because this is essentially a female super fight. You have Valentina Shevchenko, who is a perennial contender at bantamweight, moving down to flyweight. It's her second fight at flyweight. And Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who used to fight at flyweight before coming to the UFC. The UFC didn't have a flyweight division, so she was forced to move down to strawweight. She would have just been way undersized for bantamweight. So now she gets to fight at a weight class she's more comfortable at. And same with Shevchenko. I mean, Shevchenko weighed in like 123 pounds today, as did Joanna. Both were under 124 pounds, and the cutoff was 125. So both were pretty under the weight cutoff for a championship fight. This is the type of fight where I think Joanna will have a lot of success with the volume. I think that as long as she can get hit with anything powerful from Shevchenko, and if you look at Shevchenko's background, she hasn't really dropped anybody in any of her fights. So if Joanna can put volume on Valentina Shevchenko, she should be able to win a decision here. She's a big underdog, and I don't think it's justified. I think this fight's a lot closer than people are making it out to be, and I think Joanna, if she can keep it on the feet and do what she does, which is put volume on her opponents, she averages something like, I did the math on it, 240 strikes attempted per fight, which is just an incredible amount of volume, and that's in about 18 minutes of cage time on average. Just incredible volume. If she does that to Shevchenko, I think she's going to be able to win a decision.
All right, that's Aaron Bronsteter, TSN's UFC Content Editor, taking a few minutes for us right here on K-Man 27. Aaron, thank you as always.
Jordan, always a pleasure to be on with you. I really appreciate it, and have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights.